The Nintendo Switch, a generation that was like no other for so many reasons. Not only did it create a whole generation of handheld hybrid stuff that other companies have tried to copy, but well, they tried.
Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
It brought a massive amount of Nintendo fans back from the Wii U graveyard, all trying to get the taste of the new generation. And looking at the sales, they did. Also, look at the other side. Look at PlayStation and Xbox. It scares them.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
With the next Switch finally announced, it's time to think back at the best moments of the Switch, as it's been a long wait, and now it's literally just a waiting game now. This relationship has spanned longer than my relationship with my fiance. That means no, my Switch does not have to go on the shelf. It should sleep in the bed with me. It's you, Deborah, who should get the separate bedroom. You, not my beautiful Mario Maker.
A few moments later.
Welcome back to the Mumbling Gamer. On this video, we'll be mumbling about and reminiscing about maybe the greatest generation of consoles, definitely in a modern era, the Nintendo Switch. But before we continue, remember to like and subscribe for future mumbles. So let's get mumbling and saying goodbye to the Switch. Smash Bros moments felt iconic. Near every single one had me glued to that screen, and it all started with this. A line of text that explains this perfectly. They're all here. Well, surprisingly doesn't have actually a voice saying that in the trailer. I always thought it did, and I don't know why. Every character returning to this game was kind of a surprise by itself. We got the first reveal actually in the reveal trailer, but sadly if we're doing a ranking of every kind of reveal, what I'm not doing, but if I was, the ink thing from Splatoon would be near the very bottom, alongside Min Min, Pyrrha, Mithra, Bailiff and Hero. Apart from these, the literal chills that hit with the other ones were crazy. While I was kinda happy about Hero, I have a weird relationship with Dragon Quest. Okay?
And, I won't be followed.
No, that's not in our budget here.
Duds out of the way, we need to talk about the golden gooses, but if you do actually want to see my whole ranking of the reveals, go check my Patreon out, or you can do that coffee thing and see it for free. The first big reveal was not a massive reveal, but still pretty big reveal, but also should have been kind of part of the squad already when thinking about it. However, on the big stage, Riptide, Ripley, whatever that dragon was called, proved that she was worthy by killing Mario.
There you go.
And Megamind, but I don't really care much about Megamind. Actually, thinking about it, the villains have a weird habit of killing Mario when being introduced into Smash Bros games.
That was diabolical!
Like, does Sakura have a vendetta or something? It's like 5 times minus that 1 time. It's definitely not the best reveal, but it is one of them moments I'm talking about. This alongside my actual main being Simon, and the reveal being one of my favourite Smash reveals ever. Maybe it's due to them being weirdly different to anything else Nintendo does, just seeing these characters interact with Luigi dying, and just darkness in a very goody two-shoes Nintendo felt very cool and very different. Even though Sephiroth was one of them moments, we had Cloud, so it just makes sense. It was Joker though that rose this hype bar originally, as it was out of the box exciting and different. Banjo raised that hype as well, bringing in a character from a completely different company, and then the domino effect of Steve.
I am Steve.
No, not that Steve, the actual Steve. We also had Tekken, but who cares? All these literally ended with my heart in my chest, pun intended, with the Sora reveal was special. It gave me the trailer chills, even though personally I'd rather it be maybe in the middle of the run of Smash, as it felt like this reveal was the ending of Smash Bros. But still, these moments they gave in the Nintendo Switch era felt iconic. Even if you didn't play Smash, even if you were just a fan of Nintendo or just games in general, it felt like these moments felt different. The reveals felt like worth watching compared to other things. And I don't know if this will really ever really happen in the next generation. It could possibly happen if they made a new Smash, but it's just, I don't know if they'll ever hit that peak. From Joker to Sora, it was all just exciting. Ever since the PS4, it feels like I don't really need the next generation. We've had these Xboxes and PlayStations, but it never feels like I actually need them, especially after playing Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation 4. It looked amazing, and then it just felt weird having the PlayStation 5, and it makes it even feel weirder when we talk about the PlayStation 6. But the Switch felt bigger than just a generation. When you look at a console, when you look at a generation, it generally won't change much of the industry, but the Switch changed how gamers saw gaming. Maybe the last time this happened, it was the Wii, but the Wii didn't change much as PlayStation tried and, well, failed, and Xbox threw the wrong ball. The Switch, however, made waves in the industry and basically created a whole weird handheld PC stuff and the PlayStation Portal thing. And I bet my two Joy-Cons, somewhere in the dark depths, a new hybrid is being made by PlayStation or Xbox, or maybe both. Basically, the Switch was bigger than a generation. Even though the games obviously give us these feelings in this generation, what we will get into, on the other side it could be the marketing hooks, but it also felt like the content creators felt different. Even though we do get these Xbox and PlayStation creators out there, but it felt like the Switch ones were different. I don't know if it's just the feeling of watching Arlo and beat 'em ups, maybe it's just a strong passion by the loyalists after the Wii U. The fact that the PlayStation Xbox didn't really inspire many creators, but the Switch created a strong community around them and basically created new content creators. It could easily also be the hybridness itself, the attachment we have to this hybrid console being that this little console, well not actually this one as I sold the originals to get the OLED, has been through a lot with all of us. Mine has been to my parents, it's been to my missus's parents, it's been to Germany when I went on holiday, it's got us through awkward conversations, it's got us through long travel and journeys. But there is one moment that this little console got us through what will live with us forever. Perfect storm of gas, that's how I would describe the Animal Crossing era of Nintendo Switch. A game series that last released on a handheld in 2013 and lastly on consoles in 2008 on the Wii, a time where gamers had a lot more time and a game that really gives you freedom of an island and that cozy experience. Even though personally I probably played a bit too much Doom in this period, there was a feeling around Animal Crossing New Horizon that hasn't been felt in gaming maybe ever. A game like this coming out when we weren't allowed to leave our houses made gas more breathable. It brought people together when they couldn't. It was something special that you would never want to live through again, but it still felt unique and special in the gaming industry, in that gaming community. I had a weird experience myself. As I said, I played Doom Eternal, going full
Rage, rage, fucking rage!
However, Animal Crossing sneaked into my house through my missus and I looked at it like
You have no power here.
but I gave it a little go, and then I ended up buying my own copy and enjoying it with her.
Come on, here comes the airplane. There you go. Open into the hangar. There you go.
Not only that, content creators that focused on completely different genres dipped their toes into the Animal Crossing pond. One of my favourite ones, RKG, went from defeating the Headless Monkey to swapping Animal Crossing Islands. It built a special community. When you think back at this Switch game, it could be maybe the best moment, but also maybe the most important moment. A perfect moment in the Switch generation that wouldn't have happened without a year delay. Alongside that, I think it brought in so many people into the Switch, maybe making it one of the best generations ever. But this isn't the only IP that made moments and made us reminisce about this generation. Even though there is an argument to be had that Nintendo didn't really make that many new IPs on maybe the most golden generation they have had, and there is an argument that they should have, as it would have pushed that new IP to new heights from the start and made it on the ground running. They still made a lot of return IPs to make a lot of memorable moments. Nintendo years before the Switch were pretty weird. We had the Wii U that Nintendo even gave up after, well, they tried, but in the end...
Le Grill? What the hell is that? Oh, fit you. Huh?
Then we had the whole DS thing, what was a great generation, but IPs had to adapt to it and kind of massively change some games, which made some games slightly weird. It even felt like the DS killed some IPs. The DS and the Wii U did a little dance. It became the Nintendo Switch, and this bringing many huge IPs returning.
That's what she said.
This ended with many games that were Switch released in the series becoming the most sold ever. Even though, yeah, this isn't really a good moment, I don't care how many games sold, but really, these games didn't just sell because they were the new hot game on the hottest console. These games were actually amazing. Luigi's Mansion 3, Metro Dread, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Kirby, Splatoon twice, Pikmin, and even Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 got me hooked. So many games released in this generation, but weren't just sequels, they were massive improvements. These moments in this generation made fans of new series. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is cemented in my gaming mind. Luigi's Mansion 3 is really the reason I want a movie. Metroid Dread was actually the game that rejuvenated my passion for 2D Metrovania platforming things. Feels like the return of these IPs to the Switch changed my gaming mind, and don't even get me started on the ports, but that's not a big enough moment to include here. Still good though. There's so many memorable moments through the releases of games, but when we look at the characters of Nintendo, two massive changes stand out. But before that, an honourable mention. Going back to the content creators for a moment, there's a couple of them I probably wouldn't have found or been fans of for like 8 years without the Switch. And maybe you wouldn't too. Creators like Beat 'em Ups, me and my near wife binged all of his content from his retro stuff after watching his weird little pickup Switch live stream thing, and watching that content grow to new heights has been a massive moment in the Switch. And then with his brother Wolfden going from the Switch focused stuff to the tech focused stuff, watching that channel become a masterpiece and evolve over time has been very exciting. Now we have Arlo, a content creator I've just recently found. He is a bit of a muppet, but I ended up binging most of his content from when he started. There's also so many different content creators I've dipped in and out of over the past years, and it's just been a big ass moment of the 8 years of my whole life. It's just, and surely it has been for you. If you are a Switch fan, you somehow found probably a new creator over the 8 years you watch on a regular occasion, and that is a moment for everyone. The content creators, for me, for you, for everyone. All these content creators have made moments through the 8 years of this generation. They have made this generation what it is today, and without them I probably wouldn't be making this video. So from me, thank you so much for all your content creation around the Switch. This leads to the final moment. This is a weird one, but it wouldn't be a mumbling video without something weird, of splash of weirdness in there. So we're going to be talking about Nintendo's most iconic changes this generation. Before the Switch, Mario and Zelda had kind of been doing the same thing for a while, the same formula, really the same design. Apart from Zelda going through some different designs over the years, it was the same dungeon, Ganon. And Mario had its worlds, ice, sand and other stuff, but still pretty similar. And then we had Odyssey. Even though it was great, it was still kind of more of the same. It was Mario with a gimmick. Rather than the FLUDD, we had a... Did that hat have a name? Oh yeah, Cappy. It was good, but it wouldn't have been a big enough change for the character. But through the generation, it felt like Mario has evolved and become newer. We had a hint of it in Bowser's Fury, but it felt more cemented alongside Mario Wonder. Both seem to bring in fresh ideas to what is a very old IP. Even though Mario took a slight leap but maybe could do a lot more in the future, it was Zelda that took the full leap into the unknown, completely changing the format of the Zelda games. Even though Breath of the Wild set the scene, it was technically a Wii U game, what has always confused me, but Zelda cemented it in Tears of the Kingdom on Switch. Even though I kind of wasn't sold on Tears of the Kingdom world, it felt too similar to the one before it, the game they put together is a moment in Nintendo's generation, what seemingly changed Zelda forever. It took what was a simple formula but then broke it and kind of let you run free in a Zelda world sandbox thing. It's like the cooking mechanic already in the game but maxed out to 1,000. The reason why this is a moment as well as I think this maybe is a stepping stone to see more changes down the line, as also closer to the end of the generation we got a Zelda shaped cherry on the top of this new Zelda era. For the actual fans of Zelda, not Link, we actually got a Zelda game where you can play as Zelda. Finally, all these different elements brought new excitement to Zelda and Mario, what hadn't really changed for like 20 years. Feels like we've also seen Nintendo's biggest characters grow over the 8 years of the Switch. They've grown with us over the 8 years, and that feels like a good moment. And I don't know if we've ever kind of lived through that change recently. I don't think it really changed through the Wii or the DS, but the Switch, it has changed, felt like massively, making it very exciting for what will come next. That is the end of this video, and it is kind of sad to say goodbye to the Switch, but maybe we'll have a couple more videos on this subject. But if not, if this is the goodbye, we should send off with a 3-click salute. This is quite awkward if I make another video, isn't it? It'll be fine. And that's it for this moment. Remember to check below to support the channel, comment your thoughts on your best moment of the Switch, and like and subscribe for future mumbles, and I will see you on the next mumble.